torture, beheadings, destruction of property, all increasing, and that's according to the Christian watchdog group Open Doors USA, which released its annual World Watch List today. Although North Korea and its brutal imprisonment of Christians tops the list of 50 countries hostile to the faith, Islamic extremism remains the #1 threat.
The world is reacting tonight to a terrorist attack in one of the great world capitals that prompted an urgent manhunt and a frantic effort to identify 3 men. Today in Paris, in broad daylight, masked men entered the editorial offices of a satirical magazine.
Their target in the heart of Paris was the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Minutes later, more killing as police officers confront the gunman. One attacker walks to a wounded officer and shoots him point blank.
France is on its highest terror alert. More than 80,000 security forces have fanned out across the country. Officers blocked roads and searched houses in the Picardy region north of Paris. As darkness fell tonight, the hunt continued. Police are going through towns and villages across this entire area. They're on foot, they're going door to door looking for any possible hiding places.
France is reeling from bloody twin sieges in Paris and near the capital, which left 4 hostages dead and 4 others critically injured.
Helicopters flew overhead while snipers took positions on nearby rooftops.
It was a heart-stopping finale. An entire nation on edge, much of the world watching. 2 hostage standoffs and raids unfolding, just minutes but miles apart.
Here's the point. There's been a very serious push from the left saying, let's not over-militarize our cops. That should put an end to that discussion right now. We should over-militarize. We should continue to do that. One last thought. I'm sorry.
No,
after 9/11, I was in the building in 9/11. Right after 9/11, there was the New York City cops. What they did was they did these shows of force. Heavily armed cops would walk around buildings. They'd show up anywhere. 12 cop cars would line up. They'd get out with the full body gear, with the machine guns, ready just to show the bad guys they're there. That's kind of gone away. Maybe it's time to bring it back. It's not intimidating. No, I don't want. It's not a police state.
Okay, but let me. We begin in France with a massive national day of unity.
All those world leaders led by the president of France, by his longtime political rival as well. You see Angela Merkel, the German chancellor there. Others, we saw Benjamin Netanyahu, David Cameron, Mahmoud Abbas, all gathered in one place, all going to lead a very, very large crowd.
This is an unprecedented moment, Steve. We're hearing more than 1 million people.
The world leaders expected here today, including the German chancellor, prime ministers of Italy, Turkey, Israel, Jordan, Spain, and
Well, one thing we learned early on about Pope Francis, meanwhile, is the new boss is definitely not the same as the old boss. Next year, the pontiff's focus will be on change, not his own, but climate change.
A new blast of Arctic air has temperatures plummeting across a big portion of the country. It is 30 below zero in Riverton, Wyoming, and a snowstorm in the southwest dusting Las Vegas and blanketing parts of California.
The snow fell so fast in Southern California, more than 200 motorists became stranded on winding mountain roads overnight. By morning, the storm had dumped more than 6 inches of snow in low-lying valleys, breaking a snowfall record set in the 1800s.
I never see this in my life, so it's a lot of snow.
Mentioned Catalina, that's where a fierce windstorm turned deadly. The high winds and choppy waters slammed boats ashore in Avalon Harbor.
One witness described it as like a witch's cauldron, with the wind whipping up from all directions. Another, a man has lived on the island for 45 years, says he's never seen anything like it. Boats ripped from their moorings.
A massive bushfire in South Australia has destroyed homes and is putting people's lives in danger. The fire is out of control on several fronts and threatening the outskirts of Adelaide. With conditions described as the worst since 1983, there are fears that further wind changes could accelerate the fire. Smoke from the affected area northeast of the city can be seen from far away.
Here in the United States, though, a massive Arctic front is plunging much of this country into a deep freeze today. Temperatures are below zero in several northern states.
Ice over roads Tuesday, causing hundreds of accidents. An invasion of Arctic air could send temperatures plummeting to 25 degrees below in parts of the Midwest. In Iowa, the deep freeze may have played a role in this water main break, crumbling this road and opening an 8-foot crater.
Fierce waves crashing off Muskegon Harbor left the 48-foot-high lighthouse covered in ice. Look at that.
A blanketing, ferocious band of snow, lake effect snow in Michigan, so powerful it reduced visibility to 0 and led to a deadly pileup of well over 100 vehicles on the interstate I-94.
A stretch of Michigan interstate looked and sounded more like a combat zone. A winter whiteout, causing a massive pileup, shutting down a section of the I-94 in both directions, killing 1, injuring 22. Police say 123 vehicles, 65 of them semi-trucks, slammed into one another. Some burst into flames. Another fatality and injuries reported in this 50-car pileup just outside Ann Arbor.
To New Zealand now, where the South Island was rocked this morning by a series of strong earthquakes. The most severe tremor measured 6.4 in magnitude, the second biggest since the devastating 2011 quake.
Reported on those earthquakes in Texas, felt in and around Dallas. Well, tonight word of yet another one. Now 11 earthquakes in just the last 24 hours. And of course the new concern over what's causing this.
Yep. We're having an earthquake. You think California, Japan, maybe Mexico, but Texas?
Did we just have an earthquake? Yes, ma'am, I believe we did.
In the last 24 hours, nearly a dozen small quakes clustered near the town of Irving, leaving Texas-sized cracks.
This video footage captured in Israel shows a woman struggling to walk down a street in a central Israeli city. This storm caused power outages that left tens of thousands cut off from electricity and heating.